Hello, this is Marta. I'm going to talk about the project introduction and objective, and then later I'll also talk about the classification with MATLAB. For the blood to circulate through the body, the heart has to pump it through the heartbeat. These beats occur at a specific rate and rhythm that is controlled by muscle heart cells that have specialized in transmitting electrical impulses. The heart rate of an average person is usually between 60 and 100 beats per minute, but depending on the body's demand, it can change. For example, when we are doing exercise, their heart rhythm is higher, and when we are sleeping, it's slower. The ECG or electrocardiogram is what we use to measure the rhythm and regularity of the beats, and alteration in the tracing of the electrocardiogram can mean that there's cardiac arrhythmias presence. The detection of the cardiac arrhythmias are very important because they can cause serious heart diseases. What an arrhythmia means is that it's an alteration of the normal heart rhythm, and there's two main types, bradycardia and tachycardia. The first one is when the heart beats slower than usual, less than 60 beats per minute, and the second one is when it beats at a higher rhythm, or more than 100 beats per minute. The objective of this work is to classify ECG signals in a completely automatic manner by extracting features from several ECG signals with different types of arrhythmias and train the machine learning model with MATLAB to detect several types of arrhythmia. To achieve this, we go through the following steps that are detailed in this diagram. First, we do signal acquisition with LabVIEW. Then we filter and analyze the signal, and then we divide the signal in segments and detect the peaks to extract the features. And finally, we train the classifier in MATLAB, selecting the optimum model, and we finally classify a set of data.
Hi guys, I'll be speaking about how the ECG signal was extracted through LabVIEW. I'll be sharing my screen now. Okay, so it's a basic block diagram setup with a simulation ECG block that is connected to a write to measure file, and the waveform graph here is connected to the simulate ECG just to display to us, or to me in particular, how the ECG is demonstrated. I'll give a demonstration. So if I were to choose just a normal ECG, okay, with all the same output options chosen, once I press OK and I continuously run the ECG, you can see for a few seconds you can see the ECG outputting here on the left side with the waveform graph. Once I press stop, the write to measure file has taken in that output, and once I open up the write to file block, I can choose to I could choose to save the file on an existing file, so overwrite it, or I can choose to save the file on a new in a new area or a new folder. So this button here allows me to choose what folder and where to save the ECG signal. Once that is changed and I press OK, and I rerun the signal, it will automatically write or save the file into that particularly chosen folder. Also, I've chosen to write the file as a Microsoft Excel file only because it will allow us to take the Excel file and put it into MATLAB, so that my team members will be able to code the data into our specific output options that we require. And that is basically for the lab view section. My team members will be discussing further the MATLAB aspect of the MATLAB aspect of the project. Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Noel and I'm going to talk about filtering and spectrum analysis for our part of the project. To start with, the first three aspects to be considered for filtering are pass bands, stop bands, and transition bands, which totally depend upon the attenuation specifics for the signal. And over here, the frequency ranges are segregated into single or multiple pass bands from 0 to Nyquist period, which are relevant to these three aspects. For our signal, we implemented this, we generated this from LabVIEW and implemented in MATLAB as it was. We generated 5 signals. However, just for the presentation purpose, I have shown 3 signals and their specific evaluations for my presentation over here. As you can see, there is 1 normal and 2 abnormal signals which are shown exactly as they were generated in LabVIEW. However, in order to implement a filter, we need to corrupt this with a certain amount of noise. For that, we implemented a cos wave of 50 Hz and added it to our signal. So as you can see in the screen, the result signals are as follows. Now we move on to the filtering part, where at the start we implemented FIR filters with, and over there we had observed that there is a delay in the signal at the start for each of the signal. So to find another option, we moved on to the IIR filter. For IIR filter, we had a lot of options. However, we considered the basic kind of Butterworth filter for our signal analysis, which has a stop band specification in it. So after implementing the IIR Butterworth stop band filter, we can see the results as follows. The order size was taken as 10 after multiple trials of different sizes. We arrived to this conclusion, and since there is no delay observed in the start over here, we concluded our filtering with the Butterworth filter that we had just implemented. To analyze the spectral components of our signal, we calculated the FT for each of the 3 signals, and it was observed that the signal before noise input and after filtering were the same, and the signal with noise has a peak of 50 Hz in the signal. For abnormal signal 1 and 2, similar cases are observed, and to avoid the possibilities of peak amplitudes being present at positive and negative frequencies both, we only calculated the first half, and still we observe the same results. Abnormal signal 1 and abnormal signal 2. Thank you.
Hello, this is Nafisa. I will talk about ECG segmentations and feature extraction. All recorded CG has been combined together with proper labeling to extract features. We took 10 signals for each type, 5 for training model and 5 for testing the model. A split up function has been developed and implemented for segmentations of the signal. Every generated signal is 30 seconds in length. This split up function gets 10 seconds time segment from each of the 50 samples signal and include it into a new matrix. After taking first 10 second segment from each of 50 sample, it repeats the steps for another 2 times, as the total length of every signal is 30 seconds. And for feature extractions, as arrhythmia affects the electrical transmission pathway of heart, the RR peaks and QRS segment is greatly affected by this. So we decide to take features from RR peaks and QRS segmentation. For R peak detections, we applied a threshold technique implementation. For this, we have used a function called find peaks. We have rectified and observed the square value of the signal to highlight the R peaks. The maximum value for each generated signal was 1.2 millivolt. Every peak having an amplitude more than 1 millivolt was considered. After that, a check was done to make sure that We have not detected any false R peaks by observing every particular peaks arose within 100 samples of another. When peaks were finalized, a matrix stored the amplitude and sample numbers for additional assessment and feature extractions. These are the detected R peaks, and we have done time domain analysis for our peak, and we take the mean RR interval. From that, we calculated the mean heartbeat, and then we calculate standard deviation and coefficient of variance. Then we take the our QRS segment for feature extraction. The algorithm we have applied to detect the QRS interval utilizes the location that was detected for our peaks by our peak finding algorithm. The QRS detection function operates by varying the left side and the right side values of every R peaks for a shift in the gradient, signifying the Q and S peak respectively. Then QRS interval is computed by calculating the difference between these Q and S points. We have calculated mean QRS interval, standard deviation, and coefficient of variance for QRS segment. This is the QRS point. And if we run the code for feature extraction, it calculated the features like this.
Hi, this is Marta. I'm going to talk now about the classification part. We have used the classification learner app in MATLAB, and we have to decide which algorithms we should use. We have tested all of them, including the optimizable ones, and we have gotten the best accuracy with the optimizable tree, which is basically a tree that follows some iterations, changing the hyperparameters until it finds the less minimal classification error. And the result was found in this point. You can see it here, and we did with 84% of accuracy, and it classifies all the types of signals pretty good except for the normal one and the abnormal one type. For some reason it confused them a lot, so if we check in the parallel coordinates plot, we can see how well each feature helps to differentiate each signal. And the green one and blue one are corresponding to normal and abnormal type 1, and as we can see, they are quite similar all the time. So that means that none of the feature is very effective on differentiating these two types of signal. We also have the ROC curves for each of the variables. And as we can see, this compare the true positive rate with the false positive rate, and the optimal solutions should be in the top left. It's for most of them it's not there, but it's almost there. And we can see here for the abnormal type 4, the abnormal type 3, and the abnormal type 2. For these three is in the corner, and for the normal type 1 too. But for the normal it's down here because it commits a lot of mistakes while classifying it due to the lack of good features for the task. But so when in next project we should add more features or choose better quality features. But now that this is the model that best accuracy offers, so we are going to export it to MATLAB and then use it to classify the rest of the signals and see what happens. Okay, now that we have exported the trained model, we can see it in the workspace under trained model, and it's an structure which contains a function that predicts the type of arrhythmia for new data, and also the classification tree, which we can see here. And it shows the tree shape with the rules that have been defined. And we also have, well, we use a different set of data that we process and put in a table format with each of the features name and with the class of each signal. And this is the same format that we use for the training data. And then we perform the prediction, And we create a matrix with the real class and the predicted class, and then we compare with these functions the columns. So and we can obtain the precision, which is 86.6667, which is not a bad precision. It's even better than the one we obtained with the classifier app. And we can see here that most of the mistakes are due to the abnormal type 1 and normal signal confusion.
Hi, I'm Abdul Majid. I'm gonna talk about the discussion and conclusion. Let me share the screen. Yeah. Our plan for this project was to build a classifier to identify abnormal heart rhythm because of the arrhythmia. In this project, represent a method of heart rhythm classification for a 4 type of arrhythmia. We have generated 10 signal for the normal heart rhythm and 10 sample signal for the each type of arrhythmia. The first one, atrial tachycardia, and the second one is ventricular tachycardia and junctional tachycardia. And the last one is atrial ventricular block. So future we were extract for the R peaks and QRS segment and future extracted for the 4 type of abnormal ECG and 1 normal ECG was used to train model with MATLAB. We can see the MATLAB just here is the coding for the MATLAB. You can see the future extraction and function extraction future. So and this is the coding, and there is future table for the training. And go. You want to go back to the presentation? Yeah. With MATLAB classification learn app, this model can detect normal heartbeat and abnormal heart rhythm. The obtained accuracy was 86.66 and 67%. And most of the error were because of atrial tachycardia and normal confusion. This model can be further analyzed to detect arrhythmia with the real-time data with the model future to get more accuracy in the practice. Thank you so much for listening.